Hey, what's up? What's up, y'all? What it do? What it do? It's your guy, Mr. Haywood from Haywood's Pool and Spa. And as usual, we're continuing our education series, right? So right now we're about on part 8 of education series. Part 8 of the education series. And wait a minute, guy. I didn't see the notification go out. So let me expand. Let me go to the pop-out dashboard and see what's going on over here. Okay, so we're excellent. Okay, boom, bam, boom. Okay, so we're doing good there. Okay, all right. I didn't see the notification go out, so y'all give me a minute to let me put this notification out. Okay, so notifications are going out. And give me 1 second, too. I need to answer this. My mom just went through some surgery. And yeah, I just got some information from her. She's on her way home, so I'm going to go check on her in a minute. But anyway, in the meantime, we're on this podcast. All right, y'all. So we're on the podcast. And today we're talking about pools and spa filter sizing. All right. So in the podcast, like I said, we on episode 8, right? This is a part of our education series. All right. We got a few more videos to add to the series, and then we're gonna move on to some other things. But again, I just wanted to talk to you about what's going on as it pertains to filters, all the different types of filters. Man, we've talked about sizing, installation, the efficiency of the filters, difference between cartridge filters, DE filters, sand filters. We talked about troubleshooting spas. We talked about backwash, valve repair, and now we're going to get off into pool and spa filter sizing. All right, so it's very important when it comes to sizing and the particular size of your filter, because it's going to determine whether you have more pressure or less pressure, right? Whether your pool pump is overworking or it's right at the sweet spot, right? It's going to make those determinations. So you have to pay attention to filter, what type of filter you're using, and the size of the filter. Now, if you acquire a home, let's say that the pool was already built. Now, if you're not a pool service pro or even like a savvy type of mechanic, you're not even going to have any clue what's going on. You're wondering why your bills is going up. So make sure that whoever you decide to bring in as a pool service technician, your pool service pro, has some type of understanding on how water moves and the resistance as it pertains to water movement and how it affects the pump, which also equals in the end to money, more money out your pocket or more money back in your pocket for you to be able to use for other things. All right. So always keep that in mind when you're dealing with pool service technicians. Some guys just know how to change filters and dump chemicals. Some guys ain't got a clue on what to do. So you want to make sure that whoever you're going with has some extensive knowledge, how to balance the chemicals in the water and also how to maneuver around that pump house, okay? Understanding how water moves and how it's supposed to move, okay? All right, so let's jump right in. I think I seen, notifications have went out. Okay, so notifications have went out. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so boom, here it is. Pool and spa filter sizing part 2. All right, now we're talking about part 2. I don't think I ever talked about part 1. But hey, if you want to know what they were talking about, make sure that you go down into the description box, locate the particular news article and the particular topic and find liquid pool and spa filter and sizing part 1. And that way you can get caught up to speed. As it pertains today, not going to bring you up to speed on that. We're going to go ahead and just jump into part 2. All right, because this is what's in my literature. All right, so part 2. The key to sizing commercial sand filters systems is all in the details. That's the way this article reads. All right. So here we go. When selecting the correct sand filtration system for a commercial project, you must pay close attention to every step of the process, whether the project is at a new water park or renovation of a smaller commercial pool. Certain aspects of the job require a detailed plan of action. Okay. A detailed plan of action. So you have horizontal filters and you have vertical filters. Okay. Either way it go, you do the best you can for the type of filter that you have. But let's get into this article and see what they're talking about. All right. You must, okay, so whether the project is a new, okay, you must, okay, so basically you're going to have a detailed plan of action. All right. Size and space always makes a difference. Available space plays a key role. Okay. Because the more space you have, obviously the bigger filter you can have, and therefore you're able to filter out more element. If your space is tight, now you're forced to have one filter and maybe some filters kind of piggyback together, however your system works, which if you piggyback them, you're just looking for more resistance. Okay, so that's not necessarily key, but again, your application is what's going to determine what type of filter you're going to have. And the key word is size and space. Okay. Available space plays a key role. The floor plan of a filter room should begin in a filter room. Now, this is what I was talking about when I kept mentioning pump houses and things like that. That's the kind of stuff that I'm used to being around. And these rooms are huge sometimes. All right. So the floor plan of a filter room should begin with the layout of the filter footprint. In an existing filter room, you must consider access to the area, with doors and stairways being major factors. Okay. With a new facility, construction costs become the main issue. Because now, again, how big are we going to make this thing? All right. Just a quick note. There's an illustration here that you can't see, but I'm going to do the best I can to explain it. So remember I said that you have horizontal filters and you have vertical filters. All right. In a horizontal filter, the curvature, y'all like my curvature? The curvature of the tank causes insufficient cleansing of the sandbag when it's horizontal. You can't really get to it and clean it that well. In a vertical filter, the ability to trap dirt should be measured by the depth of the sand bed, not just the surface area of the filter. Okay. Consequently, a vertical filter becomes a better choice than a horizontal filter one for most applications, especially if the space ain't, if you don't have enough space. Remember, back to size and space. Okay, it plays a key role. All right. However, in either case, don't allow space limitations to force you into using an inadequate filtration system, because inadequate filtration system is just going to make sure that your water is never crystal clear. What are we doing if it's inadequate? Back to resistance, back to feet of head. Yeah, now you're going to cause this filter to overwork. Thus, you're going to limit the lifespan of that pump. Okay. And your water just ain't going to be what you need it to be. So to begin sizing the filter, you need to determine how many gallons of water are in the pool. Okay. For a list of formulas for calculating the volume and capacity of the various pool shapes, turn to the pool article. All right. Turn to the pool article. Now, coming through class, we learned all this stuff, right? So I got formulas. I got formula sheets. You know what I mean? It's ways to measure the pool, basically length, width. And then you also take into consideration you go length and width times average depth. How do you find average depth? You have the shallow end of the pool. I think shallow end of the pool is subtracted by the deep end. That gives you your average depth. So length times width times average depth gives you a number. And I think that pretty much talks to you. Oh, no, times 7.48. And it gives you the gallons. Forgive me, guys. I don't got my formula sheet in front of me. But let's go ahead and read what's in this article. In a rectangular pool that is 75 feet long and 45 feet wide with an average depth of 5.6 feet. Now, again, how did they come up with the average depth? You have to subtract the shallow end from the deep end, and it gives you about the average depth. Then you would then calculate the formula as follows. Okay, you got your pool is 75 feet long times 45 feet wide times the average depth of 5.6 feet times that factor of 7.48. It gives you approximately 141,370 gallons of water. Now, the turnover rate on a pool is usually about 6 hours. Okay. Give or take. See what the article says. Turnover rate. Next, establish the turnover rate. This represents the time that it takes for all of the pool water to circulate through the filtration process. All right. State and local health departments govern this rate, and they can decree that it runs from 30 minutes to 8 hours, depending on the type of pool. Now, this is what they're saying. But now, when you go into school, it's specifics. It's about 6 hours on general for a pool. Spas is like less than that because it's a smaller thing. Then you get off into like wading pools and other stuff, like when you get to the water parks and things like that. The things where the showers, where the spray pools and the spray things, all those have a basin where the water is caught, and there's a certain amount of time that it takes to gather that water through the filtration system and back, to whatever you're doing. So, you want to know more about that? Look it up online. All right, look it up online. Make careful calculations when it comes to a water park pool that has a zero depth or beach entry. The beach entry may have a different turnover rate, usually 2 hours than the rest of the pool. Back to what I was telling y'all, splashdown areas. That's the word I was looking for, splashdown. And this type of pool usually has a turnover rate of 4 hours. For this information, you need to check with your local health department. Okay, go to your local health department. Where I'm in LA County, so you would go at LA County health, environmental health. Then you're gonna type in pools, right? Then they'll take you to a different section because the county is vast in what they do. So then you type in turnover rates for pools, spas, etc., splash pads, wading pools, and it'll get you there. The flow rate. Turnover rate determines the gallons per minute or flow rate for the pool. It will then be used to figure out the final number of square feet of filter area needed. Okay. Formulas. Everything has a formula. You ain't got to know this stuff off the top of your head. Now, the more you know, the faster you'll come with your numbers. But like I told you in the earlier podcast, I don't pride myself with knowing everything. It's not about knowing everything. The key is knowing how to go and get the information and where to obtain it when it's time. All right. That's what it's about. So ask me a question and I don't know. Guess what? I'll go get it and I'll get back to you. That's what a true a person of knowledge does. A person that's seeking knowledge, you go and you seek it and you get back to the client or customer so that you can set them at ease so that they understand that you are willing to go above and beyond to do what's right, to make sure everything is working properly. All right. So local health departments usually determine the GPM per square foot of filter area. This number is usually 15 gallons per minute per square foot, but can be as high as 20 gallons per minute per square foot. The lower the GPM of square feet, the less time the end user will spend backwashing in the filter room. This saves time, water, and chemicals. All right. The formula for determining gallons per minute works out thusly. Number of gallons divided by the turnover rate. Using the previous example of a 141,370 gallon pool, let's assume that the health department has given you a turnover rate of 6 hours. That's the rate, y'all. I don't know what that 30 minutes to 8 hours was, but I guess that just depends on how big the pool. But an average pool is 6 hours. Because you want to find the flow rate in GPM, you must change the 6 hour turnover rate to 360 minutes. 6 hours times 60 minutes. Then you must divide the gallons by the numbers of minutes. So now you got 141,370 gallons divided by 360. That gives you 392.7 GPM. So now we know how big the pool is. We've divided it by the 6 hours, switched over into minutes, which was 360. And it gave us a GPM of 392.7. So that's how much water you need to move through that filter in 6 hours. Okay. Per hour. Let me back up. My bad. Per hour to equal the 141,370. Okay. Sizing the filter. Once you know the flow rate, the gallons per minute, divide it by the GPM per square foot as determined by your local health department. Using 15 as an example. Here's the formula. Now, I know I'm at 392.7 GPM. I divide that by 15 gallons per minute per square feet, which is usually an average filter size of a filter grid. I mean, how much water you need per square foot on the filter grid. So equal, now when I divide those two numbers, it tells me that I need 26.18 square feet of filter area. That's what's going to give me what I need to move that water through that filter in 6 hours, or in this case, 360 minutes. Keep in mind that multiple filters may be used to obtain the proper amount of filtration area. So that goes back to what I was telling you as far as piggybacking these filters, and which is cool. You just have to pay attention to their resistance and how it affects that pump. Now you have the size of the filter based on the square footage needed, not by the turnover rate alone. Okay. This is the most important lesson to remember. Don't be afraid to use the GPM per square feet of 13.5. In the long run, you and your customer will benefit. Okay. Now they use 15, but you can use 13.5. But again, the more surface area that you have, the less resistance that you're going to have of that water pushing through that filter, which means the less work the pump has to do, which decreases the amount of money you're spending pushing that water. That's why a lot of people get to the point to where they start turning them pumps off. You'll go to a filter, you come to service your filter, and you wonder, man, why does this pool always so murky looking when I get here? Why is it never crystal clear? Why is there always something in this water? Well, ain't no trees around. It's not a dusty, sandy backyard, a dirty backyard. So why? The homeowner is turning that pump off to try to save a few dollars. So that's when you have the upsell comes in. The upsell, when you have to go ahead and push a 2-speed variable pump. So in the long run, they can leave that thing alone, allow that pool pump to filter the water. Thus, the water is more inviting to the bather. Okay. And remember, a bather is just a swimmer. That's the word that they usually that they choose to use. No, you're not taking a bath in the water, but you are in the water as if you was in the bathtub, right? So that's what it is. Is what it is. Okay. So now, remember, another thing to remember: the lower the GPM per square foot, the longer the filter cycle you will have before backwashing. Slowing down the GPM per square foot will produce better water quality also. So again, keeping all that in mind. Depth of filtration. We have discussed the importance of using a lower GPM per square foot, but you also need to examine something that often overlooked in the past few years. Depth of filtration. You must choose a filter that reduces your customer's time in the filter room and conserves water by lengthening the cycles. Equipment makers know the importance of depth of filtration versus surface or shallow filtration. A deeper sand bed will produce better water quality by allowing a longer contact time with the filter media. It drives the dirt farther into the sand bed, which lengthens the time between backwash cycles and reduces the possibility of channeling. Very important, folks. When choosing a high-rate sand filter, it is important that the ability to trap dirt is measured by the depth of the sand bed, not just the surface area of the filter. Okay. Therefore, when considering a filter for your project, a vertical filter becomes a better choice than a horizontal one. Consider horizontals only for renovations or when verticals will not fit due to space limitations. All right. So, with that being said, that article is pretty much it. Again, we're talking about pool and spot filter sizing. We're in part 2. The key to sizing commercial sand filters is all in the details, guys. All right. Remember, A vertical filter is always better than a horizontal filter because the horizontal filter, as it pertains to cleaning the sand bed, is going to be a little bit more difficult. But if you're in a situation where you don't have the space for a horizontal, then you want to go ahead and put that vertical in so that you get the proper filtration that you need. Okay. And also, one of the factors we went over was the fact that depth of filtration is just as important as surface area. Matter of fact, it's more important. That will allow your water to be crystal clear. All right. Hey, man, I love coming here, man, talking about this stuff. I love bringing this education series to the people. Remember, we're in part 8. If you want to know all the other parts that we've done so far, please look back in the videos. Check it out. It's never too late to comment. And if you want to shoot me a direct email based on something that I said, you want to go into a little further discussion, please email me at haywoodspoolspa@gmail.com. Again, that's haywoodspoolspa@gmail.com. And man, let's talk about this thing. Like I say, I don't claim to know it all. I'm learning just like you. But because I've gone through the information before you, it just puts me in more of an expert type position to explain it to you. But again, if you hear something that I'm talking about that doesn't make sense to you, go ahead, drop a comment in the comment box. Again, look at the description box, check where the article was where it derived from, so that you can go and read it for yourself. Like I said, I'm not holding no secrets. I'm not trying to hold the bones. At Haywoods Pool and Spa, we look to be transparent because transparency brings trust. Okay, and remember, always remember the 5 P's. The 5 P's are going to help you whether you're sizing the pool, whether you're cleaning the pool, whether you're backwashing the filter. Okay. Proper performance prevents proper. Okay, I forgot what I was saying, y'all. I'm gonna write this down while I'm telling y'all. Okay. No, I got it. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So think about the job that you're getting ready to do. Obviously, if it's the first time that you're coming onto the site, campus, pool house, pool room, or somebody's backyard, you're not going to know much. But take notes, take pictures. Next time you get ready to hit that yard or that pool house or service that water park, you'll be prepared. All right, man. You've talked to the rest. Now learn from the best. Haywoods Pool and Spa Service is at your beck and call. Please be sure to give us a call, whether it's a green pool that you're trying to bring back in. If you're a realtor looking for a service guy to keep the pool serviced while the house is on the market, give us a call, okay? You need pumps changed. You need filters changed out. You need piping resized or replumbed. If you need heaters installed that wasn't installed before, please hit us up. There are always new technologies coming out on the market. And Haywoods Hot Dogs, man, we're at the forefront of every new thing that's coming out. We love education and we love educating the community. All right. So as we build this following, we plan to be transparent. Transparency promotes trust, and trust turns into money, right? It turns into longevity of contracts, which again equals money in the long run to feed your family and to keep your business operating. All right. So with that said, before we go, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up, because thumbs up helps put us in the algorithms. Please like and or subscribe. That also helps with you being able to know when we're going live or when our latest videos have been pulled up, to the platform. All right. So with that said, and also make sure that you share. This information may not be for you, but let's just say you know who I am. You know that we're a reputable company. You know my character. You know my integrity. Share so that other people can get this information and they can go ahead and obtain the service that you may not be looking for. All right. All right, man. That's about it, man. And so with that being said, I love you to life. Thank you for coming and checking us out. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to hang out with Haywood, Mr. Haywood from Haywoods Pool and Spa. Man, we're going to get on out of here. We love you to life. And remember, we'll see you at the next pool.